Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Leaning In with Ann. It's a walk and talk I do every single weekday morning where we kind of get our exercise on. If you want to join me, get on your treadmill, get on the floor, do some push-ups, whatever, while you listen. If you're walking outside, walk outside with me. And we talk and we peel things apart and we look at stuff that are relevant for right now. And I just share some thoughts. So I am Ann Ferguson. I'm an author. I am an entrepreneur. I have my grandma. Oh, I'm a friend. And I love my God. I love to help him. That's who I am. Okay, so I was just in the bathroom at this park, and my hands have been freezing because I was texting and doing some other things this morning before I got on, and my hands were so cold. And I looked and I went, there's a blow dryer right there, like a hand dryer, and it warms me up. Like I got my hands completely all warm. I know that sounds like a little teeny tiny thing. Totally my joy today. And I went, you know what? He inspired me to be at this park. It's perfect. This park has everything I need to do everything I'm trying to do. How fun is that? Okay, let me explain. Number one, bathroom. 53-year-old needs to use that on a regular basis if I want to walk 6 miles, right? Because I was walking before and had to find construction sites to find the bathroom or go to the grocery store while I was walking. That wasn't good. So I found a bathroom. It has a hand warmer. That's fantastic. The other thing is that there's a really great long loop. Like I walk in a circle, and I have found that walking in a circle makes me want to walk longer. Like I get more miles in than if I just walk straight and then have to turn around and come back. Just being here, I just keep walking and thinking and talking and not even paying attention anymore to where I'm going because there's no obstruction and my body knows the path now. It has a water fountain. I don't even have to bring water. In the summer, in the morning, as the sun comes up, it's all shady. So I can get up early and walk and it not be hot and I've still got shade. And then in the winter, it's got that bathroom to warm me up if I need it. Just kind of look around at the things you got and say, oh my gosh, I am so loved on. We had a whole thing last week about gratitude and how gratitude is just feeling how loved you are. And then the natural expression is to be grateful. So check in with that. What have you got around you that is just blessing your life right now? Because it's come to you because you're loved. God really loves you. But today, I really want to address kind of the last little thing about preparing for the holidays and preparing to have the best holiday that you can. There are some triggers in the holidays when there's been loss. And we're going to talk about the loss, and we're going to talk about the grief, and we're going to talk about the holidays and what we can do with that. All right, we're going to move forward into our subject today. This is kind of a big one. Some of you may be triggered. If you cry, take out some tissues. Don't stop the tears. Water conducts energy. Emotions are just energy in motion, so it's doing a release thing. But I want us to just kind of take a minute. Some of you really, as you look towards the holidays, what happens is pain. I have a few people in my life, myself included, that has lost a parent in this past calendar year. So this will be the first without that parent. Depending on the relationship and how tight or close that was, how loving and supportive that was, can give you different feelings about the holidays. For me, with my dad, it really doesn't change much. He wasn't involved. I don't have any family traditions that are going to change because of it. I have, though, experienced some pretty big shifts and change due to loss. So one of the biggest was the first are always big, guys. The first Christmas after my ex left. That was a big one. Nothing was the same. We didn't have couches because I let him have all the couches in the house. We had a little futon and I didn't have enough money for a tree. Somebody brought over a tree for us. It wasn't, I like fresh trees. This was artificial. So that was weird. Christmas morning was weird because they were going to go to their dad's halfway through the day. It was the first time, and everything in my world felt so wrong. So wrong. Ooh, the pain is coming up. So wrong. The joy of the holidays, like even when you're a kid or when you have little kids and you start those traditions, right? My kids would come down and they'd sit on the stairs and we'd take a picture of them, and my ex would go and do things, and we had stayed up all night. We'd wrapped and we'd put things down. You know, it's so hard. Okay, what about moving? What about you have all of your friends and you've got like Friendsgiving and you've got all of these holiday parties that you usually do, and then you had to move like states. I've done that too. And all of a sudden it's all different. So it's fun about my kids. They will say, but this is how we always did it. I remember thinking as an adult, guys, Christmas is always different. Like that was the tradition you loved and I could do it then, but now I can't do it. How do we negotiate and navigate this? All right, step one. You gotta honor this. Let me explain some things about grief and about moving things away. When we get into a relationship with people, whether it's toxic or not, our energy kind of meshes with them, right? When there's a death, when there's a move, when there's a divorce, when there's a loss of a relationship, let's just stick with the relationship for a minute. Our energy actually has to detangle from them. And there's a part of us that goes, I don't know what this feels like. Like, this feels weird. Here's the thing. We run from grief. We run away. We don't want to feel it. It's because it's a lower vibration. It's riddled with so many lower vibrations. The loneliness, the memories, the pain. We don't like feeling lower vibration emotions. Our spirit is tuned to the higher stuff. If we pretend like it's not there, it doesn't go away. There's a really great book called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. It is true. So, one of the things that I have done when I've been in deep grief is I have stepped out just enough in my brain to be an observer. I go, wow, this is what my body feels like when it's in grief. Like, this is the heaviness of grief. I have no motivation. That's interesting. That's what that feels like, that apathy. I feel achy everywhere. I feel tired all the time. I kind of am numb to any positive emotions, like I just can't feel them. But rather than it be somebody else's responsibility to fix that, it's not. It's my human experience. I can feel grief and I can survive. Now, that doesn't mean you do it all alone. That just means you allow yourself, whatever you're feeling this holiday season, without judgment that you are wrong, or that you're not happy, or that you should be happy, or that you should be anything. There's no shoulds. You just feel what you feel. The holidays will be much worse if you don't admit. This one's going to be a bit rough this time. I'm going to be aware that this one is not going to be like the others, and that everything is shifting. And gosh, isn't it good that I have enough grief in me that means that relationship was powerful. And then you get to choose what to do. So my aunt passed 2 days after Thanksgiving last year. So this is her family's first year without it, right? 4 of her, I think 1 daughter and maybe 3 grandkids are in the Savior of the World production that is in Salt Lake City at the conference center. So the family has gotten tickets and they're all going together because their mother would have loved to watch it and some of her family members in the production. I love how they're honoring her. And they're just gonna go, it's weird, right? It's weird not having mom here. Mom was a great, great cook. My aunt, oh my gosh, Her orange rolls are to die for. I swear, I think Kneaders and whatever, they got the idea from her because they are so good. And she makes this toffee that is, she sells it. She used to sell this toffee. It was so good. It's weird, right? Mom's not here making the orange rolls this year. That her laughter isn't in the house. And just going, that's weird, right? With a parent, you've never been on the earth without them. So it's okay that it feels weird. It's okay that it's not normal. It's okay that I wouldn't even jump to a new normal yet if it's the first year. Now, one of the things that I did in preparation for divorce is the year before the divorce, I knew it was happening. It was about October-ish when I knew that it was time. I finally saw the divorce attorney right about December 15th. So I had to come smack up against the fact that the next Christmas wasn't going to be the same. So one of the things I did, my kids didn't know that I was doing this, but one of the things I did, I failed a little bit, but I tried to do a couple of traditions, like, hey, there's a new thing, let's go do a new thing. And we did it without their dad, so that the next year I could transition into, hey, remember when we had fun doing that new thing? Let's do it again this year. That's fun. And their dad wasn't part of that memory. So I kind of prepared, or tried to prepare for that. I will tell you, in some ways, the second Christmas without him was worse. Because the first Christmas without him, he had just left and the divorce wasn't final. Our divorce finalized December 20th. The next year, I was remarried. We were in a different house. My kids and their stepdad were still wonky. His traditions, so different than mine. And so there was this really weird thing where it's like, no, but this is how you do Christmas. And he's like, no, but this is how you do Christmas. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And my kids, oh my gosh. Christmas Eve, they sat and cried. Nothing was the same. And it was okay that they cried. It was okay that nothing was the same. It was okay that they didn't know what to do with it. Because, why? Because one of the things about the holidays with the traditions is that we anticipate a certain experience. Like we expect it, right? Just like when you put money into a candy machine. I want you to think about this if you've got some grief going on. If you put money into a candy machine and it does not drop out the candy, what do? Anybody like shake a machine? Anybody kick it and pound and shake it? The reason is because you did a thing and there's an expected outcome. And what you expected didn't happen. You're like, but no, this is supposed to happen. So you kick and you rear up. So if the holidays have changed and it's not because you did anything, or just because circumstances have changed, moves, divorce, deaths, money, you kick and you scream a little bit. So if you've got kids that are kicking and screaming a little bit, it's totally okay. And it doesn't matter if they're 30 or if they're 2. There's an expectation that's not being met, and we don't like that. So giving each other permission to go, I don't like this feeling of not knowing what to expect right now. I kind of feel rocked. Yeah, I'm rocked too. Is there anything you'd love to do? Like, what would we love? We can't do that, so what would we love? Right? It's so not easy. And it doesn't have to be hard. Let me explain this. There are things that we pass through in life. Pain is absolute universal. We all experience pain in this world. It's just part of it. Suffering, however, is possibly optional. So, metaphor. I'm walking 6 to 8 miles a day, right? Well, I have some old shoes and started getting blisters. And so I spent money on tape to wrap my feet. Know why? Because I'm a dancer, and that's what you do when dancers have blisters and point shoes. Like, I knew how to take care of this. My sweet husband says, do you think you need new shoes? I go, no, I don't want to spend the money on shoes. Well, do you think the socks are causing the blisters? No, the socks are fine. I'm just fine. I'm just going to take my shoes. I continue to have blisters. He got tired of it. He went and got me shoes. And yesterday he came home with socks that have a guarantee no blister thing. I was kind of married to the fact that I can handle pain pretty awesomely. And he's like, why? Do you need to suffer with it? You know, do you need to? So sometimes our grief, all of you all, has an element of despair. Despair is when you're hopeless, and really, honestly, let's be honest, it's true. You're hopeless that things will change, and they are changing. Like hopeless that it can go back. That's true. We're letting that go. But the despair is and not being willing to be comforted or helped. Ooh, think about that for a minute. Grief is real. The pain is there. Just like a blister, right? The more you walk on it, the more it rubs. You can band-aid it up by pretending like it's not there. You can stick tape on it. You can drain it, and then you drain it the next day, drain it the next day. You can keep poaching at your grief. You can. Because I wasn't going to let anybody help me. Like, this is new, guys. This is just recently. Or you can get out of despair of your grief and say, I am open to receiving comfort. I am open to receiving ideas, comfort, help, support. Now, if you don't know what that looks like and it feels wrong, I find a lot of people hold on to their grief because if they feel enough grief, that proves that they loved the person or the situation that left them. That is a lie. I do not have to be in pain to know how much I love them and to have that love and that relationship exchanged to be true. Your pain does not equal how much love you've had. So you can have the pain that is necessary to detangle. That's, you're going to go through it. However, finding comfort, when people reach out and say, hey, it's going to be a rough season, do you want to come over? Do you want to make this? Do you want to do that? If you are in despair, you say no. And there's a lie that you say, because I don't want to dump all my stuff on you. That is not true. It is in your conscious mind, but in your spirit, it's not. I don't want to be comforted. I don't want to be happy without them. That feels wrong. It feels like abandoning them. And what if it's already gone? What if it's okay to feel grief? What if it's okay to feel joy in the same holiday? What if it's okay to laugh? What if it's okay to go, okay, so this is different. What do we want to do differently? I have a feeling that my cousin's family may do Savior of the World every year now. They're creating a new tradition that honors their mom. In my divorce situation, we had to create a new way of going back and forth between the families. And guess what? Every year that I did not have the kids, I was in grief. Why? Because I loved. My joy came from those little kids sitting on those stairs getting ready to come down. So every year for a while, when the kids would go to their dads, I was heartbroken. And then I realized, what the heck? So they would go Christmas morning, then they come back in the afternoon to my house. I finally decided to be comforted. And when I did, the idea came. Ready for the idea? They came in the afternoon. We had Christmas Eve dinner. I gave them their jammies and we woke up on the 26th and I had kids sitting on the stairs because I wanted a Christmas morning. I created it instead of saying I couldn't have it. So there are certain things that you can shift around and you can do, but not if you are sitting in the despair. It's okay to feel despair. I'm not telling you not to. If that is where you are, just consider, I'm in despair. Would I love to be isolated alone? would I love to be in this much pain? Or would I love the pain to be a little bit lessened? Do I want to be in this much pain? You can look forward into that holiday and say, what would I love to feel? When is the last time, not attached to the holiday, make sure it's not attached to the holiday because you're going to go back into the grief. When is the last time I felt connected? I felt joined. I felt happy. Let the emotion of that memory come up in you and then project it into the new holiday, the new events, the new things. As soon as you're ready, there's no timetable to grief. Nobody gets to tell you how soon to get in or out of it. Just know that you do not have to stay there forever. That you could actually become awakened to something really profound, and that is Christ came. Why? He suffered so that you don't have to. Now, we all do feel pain. I want you to really separate that out. We all do have pain. But he came so that the suffering is lessened. So the first step into reaching and climbing out of the hole of despair is to say, I'm willing to feel something different. And because of you, and because you came to this earth, I get to. Teach me about why you came. Teach me about why it impacts me. Help me navigate this, all of it, with grace and with ease. Because I am willing to do this particular holiday without despair. You can expect despair. You can expect loneliness. Or you can expect pain. And you can expect comfort. Anticipate, I shouldn't say expect. I don't like expectations. They breed disappointment. It means everything has to line up a certain way. That's part of the reason why it's so hard, because the expectations you have are no longer there because the candy's not dropping out. So you can anticipate something you've never experienced before. You can anticipate what it feels like when the Savior comforts you. You're already worth it. You're already worth and deserving his love. He's already done that. So that's kind of a lie if you ever do. I am not worth it. That's not true. You're worth it. It's only about curiosity. I wonder what it looks like to have this particular holiday that is going to have some pain and grief involved. I wonder what it looks like to walk it with the Savior without judging myself as unworthy. Isn't that cool? Totally can do this. I'm going to find some light and some love in this holiday season, and I'm going to connect to the Savior. So that's it, everybody. Have a great day.